When do you take responsibility for your actions? I also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in the...
From the outside, Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds looked like Hollywood's ultimate comedy duo. But behind the stage smiles and viral interviews, Kevin was watching something else unfold, something darker. What fans didn't see was the growing dysfunction off camera.
Talks about the different, the actual case, the actual merits of the case, the evidence that's been presented, the text messages, all of the things that Justin Baldoni has presented.
She rarely discussed the story's emotional themes. Instead, she shifted focus to her own products: hair care, fashion, alcohol. She didn't seem interested in connecting with the deep, painful subjects at the heart of the movie. For a project based on sensitive topics, her interviews came off as shallow and self-absorbed. Meanwhile, her co-stars looked uncomfortable. Brandon Sklenar, who had a major role, gave stiff answers in press junkets and avoided praising Blake directly. Viewers noticed. So did reporters.
It just sort of offends my sensibilities a little bit. Just like it offends my sensibilities to keep telling me that you keep writing yourself as a homosexual man into all of these various circumstances and no one's allowed to question that.
The body language said it all. The cast wasn't a team. They were survivors of a chaotic set where one person had too much power. Some fans argue that the drama around Blake is even more intense than the problems Ryan caused. She is also facing blame for making changes that harmed the story, such as rewriting major scenes. People who love the original book do not recognize the scenes as they were changed in the film. They say Blake twisted them to fit her own interests. Bright orange wig also became a widely mocked symbol of the movie's sloppy production. Many said it looked cheap and made the final result look unprofessional, rather than capturing the spirit of the novel. While Blake was busy wrecking her movie, Ryan was not doing much better. He tried to lighten the mood at SNL's 50th anniversary with a stunt, but many celebrities did not find it funny. Some of them rolled their eyes. Rumors spread that many important figures started avoiding both Ryan and Blake.
But anyways, he did file to be dismissed from the lawsuit, which I would say, by the way, that is standard. You're at first going to try to throw anything at the wall and say, Your Honor, I don't even want to be a part of this thing. This has nothing to do with me.
Gossip suggested that big stars got tired of Ryan's arrogance. They were also not happy with Blake's ways of stealing the spotlight. The couple, once popular in the press, was losing goodwill. Hollywood can turn on people fast. Ryan and Blake are learning that lesson. One day, they were the focus of many gossip magazines with stories about how perfect they seemed. The next day, powerful actors like Kevin Hart, Quentin Tarantino, and Gerard Butler made it clear that Ryan was not someone they liked or respected.
But they don't dig into that. They just kind of do a headline that's very favorable to Blake Lively. They try to both sides it, both are doing this and that and the other. And we know that's not true.
Then, word spread that Blake had ruined a serious book adaptation with her actions. All of this negativity piled up, and now the two of them do not look so appealing to certain directors or producers. Some fans think Ryan is still coasting on his success with the Deadpool franchise and his other ventures. They do not see him as a big threat to box offices. But the truth is that many heavy hitters in the industry have grown tired of him. Even if a movie sells tickets, if the star is too difficult, directors might prefer to work with someone else. Tim Miller's exit from Deadpool 2 showed the world that Ryan can be impossible to please. He wants to run the entire show. If he does not get his way, arguments begin. The same pattern happened with Blake on It Ends With Us. Instead of letting Justin Baldoni lead, she shoved him aside.
But that's how they're trying to win a PR game with the average viewer, the average person who is not invested in this. So you've got to think this is the lens of how they're trying to run their PR game, their PR scheme.
And at the center of it all was Blake Lively. While the internet mocked her wig and questioned her casting choices, Kevin saw how deep her control really ran. Now he's done playing along, and what he's exposing about Blake has fans seeing the entire situation in a whole new light. According to insider accounts, Kevin witnessed a toxic undercurrent fueled by Blake's endless demands and ruthless maneuvers. Her calculated presence allegedly shaped major decisions, pulling strings and stirring tension that pitted Ryan against co-stars, crew members, and even the studio.
I have talked to some, and they said absolutely, not only could this be a state criminal offense, but also a federal one.
Kevin reportedly watched as Blake masterminded disputes over everything from production costs to on-set creative control, making her relentless ambitions crystal clear. While Kevin maintains his respect for the craft, sources say he couldn't stay silent after seeing how far Blake would go to manipulate the narrative. Whispers of her interference reached a fever pitch when certain scenes were mysteriously cut or reshot under the guise of creative differences. Some say he is difficult, others say he pushes too hard for control. The biggest name who openly dislikes him is now Kevin Hart. Kevin, one of the most respected entertainers in Hollywood, has made it clear behind the scenes that working with Ryan is not what it seems. Their issues date back over a decade. During one project they worked on together, Ryan allegedly insisted on doing things his way.
Yes, guys, we're going to be digging through the weeds of this for, I think, much longer than when the trial is. I don't even know if the trial is going to meet that date of next year in March, because there's just so many layers to this.
Kevin, used to collaboration and respect on set, noticed how quickly things got tense. It reminded many people of Ryan's past behavior, especially during Safe House in 2012, where similar control issues were rumored to have surfaced. Back then, Ryan's co-star ended up with a black eye during a stunt. Ryan laughed it off in interviews. Several powerful voices in Hollywood have either distanced themselves from Ryan or openly criticized his work. Quentin Tarantino, known for bold opinions, once said Ryan's movies don't leave any lasting impact. Gerard Butler mocked comparisons between his film Gamer and Ryan's Free Guy, as if the comparison was offensive.
There's just so many things that they're trying to do to delay this case, filing these frivolous motions to dismiss. We've broken down why those won't go anywhere, and they're just trying to mire Justin Baldoni in motion after motion after motion, trying to push things out.
These aren't small names throwing shade. They're people with weight in the industry. But the most telling sign of Ryan's reputation came from Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool. After the first film's massive success, fans expected a dream sequel. But instead, Miller walked away. Why? Creative control. Ryan allegedly wanted to oversee everything: script changes, final cuts, even visual effects decisions. Tim felt pushed out, and in a stunning move, lively. While Ryan has his own history of power moves, Blake is creating her own storm. Her behavior on the set of It Ends With Us shocked not just fans, but even longtime industry pros. From day one, people questioned her casting. Fans of the book said she didn't fit the role, and her orange wig quickly became an internet meme, but appearance was the least of the issues. Behind the scenes, Blake reportedly rewrote important parts of the script without approval.
Even the ones that they claim are a victory for her, it's actually not a victory for her. It's just a way to get PR points, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, especially even legal people. They don't understand some of these things that are put out there.
She brought her own team onto the set. She insisted on wardrobe and makeup choices that didn't reflect the seriousness of the film. And she made it known that if things didn't go her way, she had the power to shut it all down. Justin Baldoni, the director, was caught in the middle, trying to honor the original story while keeping Blake in check. Those who worked on set said the energy shifted the moment Blake walked in. It wasn't about collaboration, it was about control.
So the idea that Ryan's going to come to court and claim that he is wrongly named in this lawsuit.
She treated the story like it was hers, even though she didn't write the book, develop the script, or direct the film. She just took over, and the results showed. Key scenes were changed, the tone was off, and even loyal fans of the source material said the movie felt more like a Blake Lively brand piece than a faithful adaptation. Blake didn't help herself in interviews either. While promoting the film,
none of it a good faith and fair dealing after Jones sued him for breach of contract, per a complaint filed in New York federal court Thursday.
Things did not improve when the movie went into post-production. Reports kept popping up that Blake was still trying to get her way, fighting over final cuts and shaping the film so it would focus on her. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni tried to hold it together, but he did not have full freedom to do his job. Some insiders said it was clear to everyone that Blake felt superior to the director. She saw no reason to cooperate with his plans. She used her fame and connections as leverage to demand that her ideas be put in place, no matter what the original script said. For many watchers, the situation reminded them of Ryan forcing Tim Miller out of Deadpool 2. In that case, Ryan had star power and public support from fans who loved the first movie. He also had the backing of the studio, which wanted to keep him happy. As a result, Tim's opinions were overshadowed. It is the same pattern with Blake, a powerful star ignoring the real creative minds behind the scenes. Now, the entire movie is overshadowed by drama and fan anger.
So what does Ryan Reynolds have to do with that, legally speaking, other than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation that Miss Lively has suffered?
Ryan and Blake used to hide these attitudes. Ryan would crack jokes in interviews, and people assumed he was good-natured. Blake smiled in public, and tabloids gushed about her fashion choices. But Kevin Hart's open frustration with Ryan changed everything.